that I needed to work in a different way. Like so many reformers before me, I realised I needed to step outside the institutions. I needed to start again, sharing the lived realities of others, their ideas, knowledge and power. I moved to a Dominican barrio, a city slum with a fearsome reputation, a place where 40,000 people lived, cheek by jowl. Many were born in the barrio, others were still arriving from the countryside, hoping to make new lives for themselves. This was a place of extremes, of deep kindness and casual violence. I found a place to stay, and I spent a long time listening and then, borrowing and learning from many other community activists, I started to develop new tools and methods. I wanted to better connect the good intentions and the resources of big institutions with the know-how of those living difficult and complex lives. It was a turning point, and it led me to a very different way of working, one that always starts with people in their everyday realities. Today, I live in Peckham in South London, and I work in Britain. I have come home to the place where perhaps the greatest social innovation ever, the welfare state, was designed. And I have been looking at how it works and how it doesn't. And, with communities and other partners across the country, I have been creating something different. When my neighbours and friends ask me what I do, I'm never quite sure how to answer. I have been called a designer, an entrepreneur, an inventor. Elements of all these labels ring true. At heart, I am still working away at that fundamental question: how we can enable everyone to live to our true and shared potential. I am older now, and I know this is not a question about us and them. I have seen how all of us are limited if we grow up in societies riven by inequality, and I also understand that in different ways all of us need support. Perhaps I can best be described as a social activist. Social because my work is rooted in people's lives, in shared collaborative experience, and activist because I am focused on the practical change we can make here, today. Part 1. Introduction. Opening. Stan lives in Westminster, in the heart of London. With the window open, you can hear the traffic on the street below, and from Stan's small flat, it's only a short walk to the Palace of Westminster, the seat of government and decision-making. But for Stan, being close to government, theatres, cafes and busy streets means little. Stan sits alone, day after day, his long frame folded into the faded green corduroy of a friendly old chair. At Stan's side, a walking stick and an Arsenal scarf hang from a shelf of family pictures. A fair-haired grandson, his own parents and siblings, stiffly arranged like eminent Victorians, and photos of Stan and his chums in the Navy. When I visit Stan, he uses his stick to point at these things, and he tells me stories of Corsica, Rome and Asia, his days in the landing squad, and his Saturdays on the terraces at Highbury. Stan is a proud man. He knows what he likes and what would bring him a little happiness. He wants to hear again the music he loves in the company of others. It's a simple wish, and it gave me an idea. Our welfare services usually start like this, with an idea, but one that is born not in Stan's flat, but down the road in a government office. Public servants or consultants respond to a perceived need, perhaps the findings of a focus group or a ministerial pledge. And they decide that a new service or a reform must be organised. Reports and budgets will be put together following a logic that looks good on paper, and, at some uncertain time in the future, and with much fanfare, the new programme will be launched.